A big namaste to all. I hope you've all been doing well. Today I'm going to read out a few lines, a few passages from my book, A Quiet Joy in the Life of a Day. I used to sit cross-legged, straight-backed, spine like a flagpole, trying to salute God. I used to chase silence with a stopwatch. 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2, longer. If the ego felt particularly raw that day. But no matter how still the body became, there was always this trying, a subtle itch, a seeker behind the eyes, watching itself, watch the breath, waiting for silence to clap back. They called it presence. I called it effort. But the effort, even in silk robes, is still effort. When usually we talk about meditation, what we imagine is somebody sitting down in a cross-legged position, eyes closed, fully focused, trying to concentrate. I mean, this is the kind of meditation I grew up on. When I was young, I used to go to several spiritual programs where they taught us meditation. So they used to say, sit and do some kind of a kriya or a practice, and then you focus on your breath. You focus on one thought. Bottom line, you focus. And that is a certain kind of meditation, which they call one-pointed meditation or concentration-based meditation. Dharna. And it's tremendously beneficial, especially when your mind is usually all over the place, very restless, chaotic. So it does help. It helps concentrate your attention to one point. So it doesn't go all over the place. It doesn't run around in circles. It becomes more focused. What I didn't know at the time, since I was young and inexperienced, was that this sort of meditation, which we usually do, you wake up every morning, you close your eyes, you do your 15 minutes, 30 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, depending on how experienced and how willing you are, you'll sit down and concentrate. What was unknown to me at the time was when I was sitting and focusing my thoughts at one point, what usually happened was my thoughts used to get more and more heavier, in the sense that when I'm focusing on one thought, more thoughts seem to be coming out of that. So it's definitely not helping reduce the thoughts, it's actually multiplying the thoughts. And I found, oh my God, this is very overwhelming. I'm thinking more and more and more instead of less and less and less. So I inquired into this. What is this focus, concentration, effort-based meditation? And at a certain point, I realized that there is somebody here who's trying to focus on itself. In the sense, there is a meditator who's trying to meditate on an object of meditation. You focus on one object, and there is this split between the meditator and what is being meditated on. And in doing so, what's happening is the meditator is becoming stronger. It's becoming big. Because the meditator is the separate self, the illusory ego, which is trying to build up this identity, of being a more experienced, better, more profound meditator. So it's focusing on one thought, but that one thought is making the meditator become bigger and bigger and bigger. And so the thoughts start getting more and more. And in that process, which we call everyday meditation, I mean sitting down in focused meditation, what happens is we experience an artificial sort of peace, because we are tired. We get tired of constantly thinking about just this one thing. Now, at first, it does help us get more settled and focus more on the inner self rather than our attention always being outside, which is mostly what we do. We keep seeing things and we keep judging things and we keep thinking, overthinking all the time. So it helps kind of soothe and relax in that way. But what happens is when we meditate a little too much and we meditate with the purpose of silencing the mind, there's always a purpose attached to it, an outcome. I need to be more calm, I need to be more gentle, I need to be more aware. What happens is the thoughts start making the meditator become more powerful and strong. And because we're thinking so many thoughts while we close our eyes, we tend to feel tired, exasperated. And when we are tired, we feel, oh, this is peace. But it's not peace. It's just two countries, one country being the meditator and the other country being the thought. They're at war with each other. And what we experience as peace is actually, when everybody's tired and everybody's just drained and nobody wants to fight anymore. That's you just experience this fatigue. And that tiredness is what we call peace. So that is focus-based meditation, one-pointed awareness. Another kind of meditation, which I wouldn't even call a meditation, is just sitting quietly and being watchful about whatever is going in and around you, which you could call a witnessing based meditation, or just witnessing, whatever's going on in and around you, is where you sit quietly and silently and you watch everything that happens inside your body and around you, with no particular objective in mind. You just hear and you're watching. Your attention is totally inward. And every thought, every feeling, every sensation is accepted. Nobody's trying to block out the negative thoughts, trying to invite more positive thoughts, because that actually makes the meditator stronger. The ego, which is in itself noise. So this is more of a allowing of thoughts and feelings and sensations to come up, and just noticing them come up, arising and dissolving like the waves of an infinite ocean, which are being moved, these waves, by the winds of these thoughts and feelings and sensations. At one point, everything comes to a screeching halt, and there's simply no movement. When you allow all these movements to happen, ultimately, all movements dissolve. And you feel this really beautiful, sweet, energizing presence. And this presence is truly precious, because here there is no meditator meditating on anything. There is pure meditation. Ramesh Balsekar used to say, true meditation is witnessing whatever happens or whatever happens in life as movements in consciousness. What does that mean? It means while we are sitting, we notice all of these things that are happening in and around us. And at one point, when this becomes a living meditation in daily living, in meditation action, so to speak, where you're meditating all the time, but you're not stationary, you're moving, you're doing things, you're working, you're making this video, but yet there is pure observation of whatever is going on in and around me. So when this becomes a lived experience, a living meditation, not a performative one where you're sitting and doing it for some time and the rest of the day your mind is in chaos. It is all the time present. Even when the mind is feeling a little, out of sorts, you observe that. Meditation observes that. And in that observation, that moment drops. So this is a moment to moment, day to day, situation to situation meditation. This is life as we know it. So the next time something comes up, you have to go outside, you have to talk to people, you have to go buy your groceries, you have to go to work, you're stuck in traffic. Why not just tap into this? And notice yourself while the action is happening. Because truly the actions are simply happening, you see, it's effortless. There is no doer of actions. The body is moving, the mouth is speaking, the ears are listening, the hands are moving, yet there's nobody moving it. It's happening all on its own. This is your purest experience. This is pure being, pure consciousness. And it's available here and now.